What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, I will be reviewing the Adonit Writer Plus case for the iPad 2 and the new iPad. Now before we get into this review of the Adonit Writer Plus, we're going to go ahead and unbox it because it is in such amazing packaging. I figured I'd have to unbox it. Anyways, here's the front of the box. I did get this in the black color on the outside and the tan color on the inside. So this is for the new iPad, but also works for the iPad 2. So here's the front of the box with the Adonit logo, or the Adonit kind of showing of the case. Glass is not for typing. That is a great statement. And here we just have all of the features on the keyboard, which is the main part of this product. On the side here it just says Writer Plus. Over here it says Writer Plus. Sorry about the lighting if you can't really see. So there's nothing really much to it. It's kind of like a book that you open, so you're just going to go ahead and gonna have to peel the plastic tape off of here on the top. So gonna go ahead and get that now. Alright, and then this just comes off and kind of goes out. Alright. And now we're going to go ahead and slide the Adonit reader out. Okay, that's it for inside the box. This is really soft interior inside of the box. So let's go ahead and check out our Adonit product. We're going to go ahead and I guess we'll open it here. Okay, so here is the keyboard, and here's our little welcome pamphlet thing. This is a piece of cardboard. So in this we have contained a little USB charger, and this can, you can put this into an iPhone charger or a power source brick. That's what I call them. And then you can, I guess, charge up your keyboard. Yep, there's a USB port right here. So that goes right down in here into the keyboard, and then you can charge up your keyboard through this, through the end of the USB cable. So we're gonna go ahead and put my iPad in, and I'll show you the rest of the features. Okay, so now it's time for the review. Now here I have my iPad 2, and we're going to go ahead and put it into the Adonit case. Now, the way you're going to line it up is you are going to take the bottom of the iPad and you're going to put it in from the bottom, the headphone jack pointing forward, so you'll look at your iPad like this. The Apple logo notch should be pointing out this way, just for some reference, and you're going to drop it in like this. The speaker here and the volume rockers down here, and you're going to bring it up and snap it into place. You're going to want to put your fingers all around and click it in, just like so. And then once that's in, you should be good. So just to make sure, make sure that you can see the back of the iPad's camera. You can see a bit of the silver from the iPad. Mine's red because of my skin. And then also make sure that all your ports are correct on the side, like the microphone, the headphone jack, and then of course on the bottom, the dock connector and the speaker. And then you should be good to go. So now that my iPad is in the Adonit case, let's talk about how the case works and everything first. Now let's talk about opening and closing the case. Now what you'll first start off by doing is basically this is the front of your Adonit case. Up here you have your headphone jack, your microphone, and your power button, camera, dock, and the speaker. Everything perfectly works out pretty decent. So you're going to go ahead and open it up. You'll see that the iPad unlocks just like a smart cover. And then once that's open, you're going to bring the keyboard out. Then you're going to lift your iPad. And from whichever angle you want, you can move the keyboard back and forth to your corresponding angle. So I can make it like steep like this. Or I can bring it back so that I can see it maybe from like my camera screen. So just like that, and you could adjust it whichever way you want to your liking. So now we'll go ahead and talk about the keyboard itself. The keyboard is also detachable with the iPad in. If you would like to remove the keyboard, simply just grab it and pull up, and you'll see that it does become disconnected. From this point on, the case will just consist of the iPad itself, and then from there, you could put the keyboard in your lap, move it in different angles, whatever you want to do with it. And then if you want to connect it again, there is the little piece here that goes onto the back of the keyboard. So I'll just go ahead and lift that up. Or actually, no, you can leave it down and then just find where the keyboard goes, and you could slide it right back in. And the keyboard will stay on no matter what. It'll always be connected to your iPad. Okay, so now let's talk about the keyboard buttons itself. So as you see here, I have my fully laid out keyboard connected to my iPad. This connects over Bluetooth, by the way. I'll get to setting it up in just a minute. But basically here we have sort of like a MacBook Pro keyboard, MacBook Air, whatever you want to call it. So you have the same layout as you'd basically get. It's a wireless keyboard, and aside from it working on the iPad, it also does work on other iOS devices, including the iPhone, the iPad, and if you'd like, you can also connect it to your Mac. So if you have a desktop Mac, obviously you probably won't need one of these if you have a MacBook, unless, let's say, you're on an angle with your MacBook and you just want to have your keyboard separate from your laptop itself, this does work with other Apple devices, just being the iPod, the iPhone, and the iMac itself. So the keyboard actually does have some pretty cool controls aside from its regular buttons. Here we have a home button, so I could double tap that to bring up multitasking, and then if I'm in an app, I can also use that. We have our spotlight button, which brings me to my search immediately. Over here we have a photo button, which will basically go through my photo library as a slideshow. Here I can bring up the keyboard, so if I go into spotlight, I can make the keyboard appear or disappear. Whether I'm in notes or spotlight or Safari, I can make it appear or disappear. Here we have a cut key right here, copy and paste, so I don't have to click it on the iPad itself. We have a play button, a reverse button, and fast forward button, so you have all your music controls here, including volume buttons, so the volume will change accordingly, either up, down, or even mute. And then we also have a convenient lock button placed on it as well, which will just bring you to the lock screen, and to unlock it, you can click any button on the home screen, and then it will unlock. It's not working for me right now, but you could click any button, and it will unlock the iPad itself. And then, of course, you have your regular QWERTY, ASDF, ZX, CVB, keys all through the keyboard that go the whole row, just like a regular Mac keyboard with your up and down arrows. Obviously, you won't need that for an iPad. Unless you're typing like several lines, you'll probably need it mainly for the Mac and stuff like the command key. That's all mainly Mac-based keys, but otherwise from that, this whole keyboard works with your iPad, and it makes it a lot easier to type and gets a lot more work done. I've noticed that I could type a lot faster on my iPad now and get much more work done, breakout work much faster, so it works out great. And also, the keyboard actually does get recharged. It runs on a rechargeable battery inside. Basically, to charge it, you could do this. This is optional. But I removed the keyboard, and then as you can see here, there is a little port on the side. Basically, Adonit sends you a small little USB cable that you put in, and then if you want, you can put that into a power adapter or just plug it in directly to your computer, charge it up, and you are ready to go, just like that. In order to set up your keyboard with Bluetooth with your iPad, so it does work, is you're going to want to go to your iPad, go to Settings, General, and then Bluetooth. You're going to turn Bluetooth on. By the way, this also works with other iOS devices, the same instructions. And basically here, you'll get devices. What you're going to do is you're going to hold down the plus button on the keyboard for 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds, and you'll see it start blinking, and then on the device list, mine's already here, it will appear Adonit Writer. You're just going to click it, and then it should ask you to enter a code on the keyboard. Mine's already connected because I have actually done that already, and it'll tell you the code to enter, and then you just hit enter, and automatically the keyboard is connected, and then you're ready to go. You're ready to start typing, you know, whatever you need to, and yeah, that's basically it. Now, overall for the Adonit Writer Plus, I do really like this product because it's much more convenient for typing and it makes it much easier to get my work done. If I have to type an email, take some notes, browse the web, it's just much more convenient than using the keyboard on the iPad itself, on the glass. But, you know, there are some downsides to this case. The first one I'm going to have to add, it is very, very thick. The top of the actual Adonit case itself is about as thick as the iPad, or a little bit thicker, so it is going to be pretty thick in your hands. As you can see already, it is dramatically thick, but I guess that's okay considering the fact that you're going to have the keyboard and you have the whole plastic piece surrounding here actually holding the iPad, which isn't a bad thing. And then the other con about this case is going to have to be the on switch for the Adonit keyboard itself. You actually cannot use the Adonit on switch on the keyboard with your finger. You need to use a pen or pencil or even a paper clip to turn it on or off, which can be a pain, but you don't really need to turn it on or off that frequently because when you lock your iPad with the Adonit case, the keyboard automatically shuts off, and if it is going to die, all you have to do is charge it. So you won't need to necessarily use the on and off switch a lot unless, you know, you're going to be keeping this case open a long time and you're not going to be using the keyboard. That's the only occasion I think you'd need it, or if you're just not using your iPad or the case itself for a long period of time. But otherwise, every time you close it, the magnets work with the keyboard to actually put it into sleep mode along with the iPad. So, but the on and off switch is kind of a pain to get to. And so guys, that is my review of the Adonit Writer Plus. If you'd like this video, please leave some comments below on your thoughts. There will also be a link in the description to get the Adonit Writer Plus. And be sure to rate this video, give it a thumbs up, and click the subscribe button up top. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.